Welcome back to another episode of外国人介绍台湾新闻. New shirt, new haircut, and 944 million new Taiwanese dollars to Ukraine. Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. That's right, Taiwan has actually donated over 944 million Taiwanese dollars to the victims of Ukraine, together with over 27 tons of medical supplies from the Taiwanese government and over 4,000 boxes donated by over 2,000 Taiwanese individuals. And I know I mentioned this countless of times, but as my good friend Vadim would have said, history do repeats itself, and after every tragedy or disaster, just like the one we are seeing in Ukraine, Taiwan is once again standing up for the world and showing once again the enormous generosity of the Taiwanese people. But the generosity does not stop there, because the private company X Dynamics has donated over $1 million worth of drones to the Ukrainian armed forces. Taiwanese Academia Sinica has launched their own scholarship program for Ukrainian students, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also launched a new visa program for Ukrainians with relatives here in Taiwan. This incredible generosity, or as I prefer to call it, Taiwanese mentality, has of course created headlines all over the world, with the majority of people having actually a hard time understanding why Taiwanese people actually care so much. But of course this has also been received with enormous gratitude from the Ukrainian forces themselves and all the surrounding countries who also have taken part of these contributions and donations from the Taiwanese people. But somehow there are still a few people who are not so impressed with these Taiwanese donations, simply because apparently they have misunderstood the difference between capitalizing and compassion, and they are not happy at all with these donations from Taiwan. In fact, Beijing and China seems to be so unhappy with this, so they actually only rank number 72 in this year's World's Happiness Report, whereas Taiwan ranks number 26 overall and actually being the most happiest country in Asia. And speaking about happy Taiwanese people, I don't think there is any Taiwanese happier than Sonia Yuan this month, since she is the Taiwanese actress in the movie Drive My Car, who recently won an Oscar for Best International Film. Sonia made an absolutely amazing performance during the movie, and she looked more beautiful than ever before in her bright red dress during the actual Oscars. But this of course raises a lot of questions, and I know what you all are thinking. What kind of oat milk is Sonia actually drinking? Well, if you're curious to find out, and if you want to try the exact same oat milk as Sonia is drinking herself, then I have absolutely fantastic news for you, because I'm super excited to announce that JBW, a company that you absolutely should be familiar with by now, will actually have their first physical event on April 30th and May 1st up at IKEA in Neihu. And before you start asking, is that actually how you pronounce IKEA in Sweden? No, in Swedish we will say IKEA, but since I am speaking English in this video, I will continue using the English version of IKEA. Not really too important, but something that is very important is that you actually come up to IKEA in Neihu on April 30th and May 1st, since I will be there in person and offer you as much oat milk and Swedish berry juice as you can possibly drink. I should also mention that if you cannot wait until the end of the month, you of course have a link down in the description where you can order your own oat milk or berry juice today with some special YouTube discount. And speaking about people who could not wait until the end of the month, this week we actually had amazing visitors all the way from the Swedish Parliament, and I just want to say thank you to all of you who have emailed me, texted me on Instagram, texted me on Facebook, and said that I should absolutely include this news in my next 外国人介绍台湾新闻. But as a fellow Swede, of course I kept track on this news myself, and I am of course super excited that we now have some other Swedish representatives here in Taiwan as well. This delegation consisted of some of our top Swedish politicians and Swedish member of the European Parliament, and they all came all the way here to Taiwan to show their support for Taiwan, to meet with the President Tsai Ing-wen, the Premier Su Tseng-chang, Foreign Minister Joseph Wu, and YouTuber Lukas.
Thank you, because what you are doing is kind of strengthening the relations between our countries in a very practical way. And it's also very good from a Swedish point of view that I have someone representing Sweden that well that you are doing. So all the respect and thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
if you want an explanation on how Lukas Engström ended up in the middle of this Swedish delegation, then I hope that you have subscribed to this channel, because of course I will make another video talking about how I ended up in the middle of this delegation, and of course I will also share the interview I managed to conduct with the representatives in this Swedish delegation. All I can say right now is that sadly President Tsai was not able to meet with this delegation since she's currently self-isolating after having dinner with a COVID-positive relative. So Taiwan decided to send their second best representative, so I had to represent Taiwan as best as I could. Well, okay, that last part may not have been completely true, since this has actually been a close collaboration with the Swedish representative office here in Taiwan for the last couple of weeks, and I'm so happy that I can finally share this with you now and no longer have to keep this a secret. And speaking about secrets, as soon as I got the call from the Swedish representative office here in Taiwan, of course I told them yes, right away. Of course I want to meet the Swedish representatives and the Swedish delegation when they come here, and hopefully, who knows, I might actually be able to teach them a thing or two during their actual first day here in Taiwan. But I have to admit that as soon as I realized that I was actually supposed to interview the official Swedish parliament members, I was super nervous until I remembered the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. As I hope you know by now, Skillshare is an online learning community with literally over 1,000 different classes teaching you everything from how to record and edit YouTube videos to how to run a successful business. Or in this case, actually teach you how to plan and record a professional looking interview with a Swedish delegation here in Taiwan. And now you might think, but Lukas, you're interviewing people all the time. Like, why do you have to take a Skillshare course to learn something that you obviously already know? But this is actually completely different, because in this case, I need to go to a completely new location. I have no idea how the light settings will be, and I will only have 30 minutes per person to conduct this interview. Just to put things in perspective, normally I will take 45 to 60 minutes to record one of my videos, and that is when all the lights are already set up here in the studio, when it's only one person in front of the camera, and I already have my entire script printed out, and I basically just have to memorize and read this script for you in the camera. So this was a huge challenge for myself, but thanks to Oren Sofer and his class Video Essentials, using lenses and lighting to convey emotions, I walked into this interview feeling super confident, although I have to admit that I was actually checking these classes from my phone during the day of the actual interview, which is actually one of my absolute favorite things about Skillshare, that it is also available on your phone as well, and that it has this amazing playlist of all the classes within a single course, so you can have a great overview of all the previous and next videos, so you can easily jump back and forth when you need to double check every single thing before the most important interview of your life. And speaking about making people confident, the first 1,000 people who click the link down in the description or use my personal code Lukas Engström will actually get an entire month of Skillshare for free. That means that you will have more than enough time to actually check out Skillshare for yourself, so you will get confident and also see how Skillshare is the best online learning platform for you. And speaking about a bunch of Swedish citizens here in Taiwan and how we can integrate the two countries of Taiwan and Sweden even closer in the future, I just wanted to end this video with talking about an article made by David Spencer, a contributing writer at Taiwan News, since he recently posted an article talking about that it's now time to open up Taiwan's reserves for foreign workers, and at the same time maybe reconsider Taiwan's stance and quite unfair, to be honest, position regarding dual citizenship, since actually Taiwan makes it super difficult for foreigners to get dual citizenships. So hopefully, if this discussion could get started, it might be easier for foreigners here in Taiwan to actually become dual citizens, just like Taiwanese people actually can get dual citizenships with other countries, with the slight condition that you actually have the Taiwanese citizenship first. Then it's super easy to apply for dual citizenships, but for us foreigners who come here with another citizenship, it is actually very, very difficult to maybe one time in the future obtain the Taiwanese nationality on top of my already existing Swedish one. And speaking about putting things on top of each other, I think I actually have to end this video right now, since we are currently still busy with stickering these Chinese labels on our Swedish oat milk and berry juice, so they're all ready for April 30th and May 1st, when you will come up to IKEA in Neihu and check out all our amazing products, and hopefully you will also be okay to take a selfie with me, which I will post on my Instagram and Facebook during that day as well. So if you for some reason do not have the opportunity to come up to Neihu, hopefully you will add me on social media so you can still be part of our Swedish IKEA Neihu day, and hopefully you also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, so you will get notified when the interview with the Swedish delegates actually will be available here on this channel as well. That was everything I wanted to share today. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.